Thank you for jumping in on Hallie's Creations. I hope you enjoy this next share. And without any further ado, let's do this. Don't forget to subscribe and notify, or you won't miss out on any more videos. I absolutely love this black canvas. This honestly is my first attempt at using black canvas, and I wanted to share that process with you. Thanks for jumping on to Hallie's Creations, and let's just play. So what I did is I used my oil pastels to do that outline, and now I'm blending my paint, and what I'm using here is what they call the Gucci or Gucci or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it's like an acrylic paint. It's a little bit thinner, but what's really cool about this is the colors just really pop. So I'm having fun with that. So we are going to first lay out the leaves. I usually start my florals with leaves first. That's just my foundation, and then I build out from there. And you will see this transform into something totally different than what it looks like as we start. Now we're going to add a little white in there with a little yellow to give those leaves a little pop, and then we're going to add our stems in and just continue to build this out. I'm feeling when I started this making a huge pot of florals, and here's why. I have never done anything like this before, so I wanted just to get in there and get crazy and go for it and try different techniques. So I thought, let's just videotape this and share this. So this is a long skinny paintbrush here, and now we're using a flat tip paintbrush. So we went from the long skinny one to make the stems to a flat tip paintbrush. And you'll notice too when I'm doing my shares, I'm not telling you what number to get on the paintbrushes, because each set is kind of different, and I want you to be able to use the materials you have. And you'll also see I have an Amazon personal profile at this time, and now this may change years from now, but right now I don't have affiliated links. These are all just my personal links sharing with you the different materials and tools that I use to do my creations. So if you want to check out my paintbrushes, I have this on my Amazon paintbrush list, and these I think are the Monet paintbrushes. So now we're just going to add some more color to give it some more pop. And if you've looked at other YouTube artists, how they do that half brush white, half brush the color, that's what gives that really fun pop to it. And you'll also notice too how I'm constantly changing my brushes. So that's just part of the artistic process. So don't be afraid to get out there and experiment, because honestly that's what I'm doing right now in this particular share. I'm playing and experimenting with techniques and different mediums, and I just, like I said, I wanted to share that with you. I just love how this black canvas makes all those colors pop. So now I just went with a smaller flat tip, and I'm just adding more color. What I like to do, those of you that follow know that I like white, and so I add a lot of white to my pieces. So we're just going to kick back here and enjoy the process for a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit more in a few minutes. So you just go dot, 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 and then how when you blend the white with the color, it brings it together. Those are those little stems that I did with that long skinny brush, and now I'm adding the petals to it. I wasn't quite that long, was I? I just like to share. So you just dab and pull, dot, 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 and you get those really cool looking petals. Just tap and drag and tap and drag. Super easy peasy. So for those of you that are out there going, I could never do that, try it. Just try it. It's fun. You'll surprise yourself. It's not that hard. The biggest thing is getting out of your head and just enjoying the process. My husband taught me that quite a while ago. It's like, just get out of your head. Don't overthink it. Just have fun. Because you're going to see where this is going to transform into something totally different. It's crazy. I started doing that blue basket because I thought, hey, you know, that'd be kind of cool. And then I didn't like it. And then you'll see where I change it to another, and finally it ends up to something totally different. And that's the neat thing about art, is you could adjust accordingly, just like life. Just tweak it and adjust it accordingly. See how you just tapping and making those fluffy little flowers. So much fun. One of the things that I do when I am painting, you'll notice how I have glass on my countertop. Thank you to several different YouTubers out there that I follow that I saw that and I thought, what a great idea, because you just let that paint dry and scrape it off. Now, you can't really do that with your oils, but you can with your acrylics and your other paints that dry pretty quick. So now we're just going to add some more leaves in here to give it a little bit more character. And I wanted some stems to put some buds on, so we need our little buds to go there, and some more long skinny lines. Those are so much fun. So there we go. Don't be afraid to go over your colors, because a true floral, they lay over each other. You'll also notice there that I have a water bottle. What I do is I spray my paint as I'm working with it to keep it pliable. So I have one jar that I rinse my paint brushes in, I have one that I keep my dry brushes in, and then I have one that I just keep them wet in. So you'll see in my shares I usually have 3 jars. Dry, rinse, and there you go. So we're going to add the white highlights. I love white. And you'll notice too on this black canvas, it looks like I spray painted some white on there, because I did. It was so much fun. I got the white spray paint out and I thought, let's just try this. So it really gave it that pop and that highlighting. So I'm just showing you the flat rounded tip, not the flat, but the rounded tip brush I'm using to accentuate here. And I'm just continuing to fill that basket up with flowers. Don't be afraid to go over your flowers and just continue to build on them as well. If you don't like it, just work it again. It's not that. It's like I said, it's not that hard. So I decided to build that bouquet out more and fill the canvas up, so you'll see where it's going to explode here, and there'll be even more florals and more colors in this. Part of the process on this particular share was playing with the different mediums, getting a feel for the paint, because it's that gouache paint or gooch. I should look that up. But anyway, it's an acrylic type paint, pretty popular out there, and I wanted to try that. It does go on thinner than the acrylic, so I wasn't too impressed with that. And if you follow me, you know that I use more palette knives and oils. So acrylic painting is, I know how to do it, but my jam is really the oils and the palette knives. But this particular piece with the black canvas, you'll probably see more shares on black canvas because I really liked it. So see how we just use that, I'm using that color to make it pop and bring that out more. The reason I'm doing that is I want it to all be cohesive and flow when I'm all said and done. So we're using some real bright orange little pop-in flowers now. And I'm just going to kick back and let you enjoy the process here a little bit and explain a little bit more down the line. You see that little oops there? Mistakes happen. We're just going to build on that. See what comes out of it. Sorry, it happens. I think we'll just make that flower orange. And it actually kind of comes out pretty cool in the end because it brings that all together. So it's all good. So I'm going to continue to layer my background colors and to bring some dimension into the piece and just kind of let things flow here. Don't forget to subscribe and set your notify if you'd like to see more shares. And I don't just do painting. On my channel, on my playlist, you'll see several playlists. I like to make neat stuff. I paint, I make jewelry, I make wreaths, I do DIY projects, and the list goes on. So if you are interested in seeing more creative shares, you want to get those notifications when I post, and I do try to post every week, set your notify and subscribe, and check out those playlists because there's more than just painting to this girl. I like doing all kinds of neat stuff. I'm recently retired and I have time to play. I was a art major, business major back in the day, and then I raised my family. So now that I'm recently retired, I have time to play and share the process with you. So you never know what's going to come up on my channel. And I'm having so much fun doing this. So now we're adding more dimension to this, now that I rambled. But I'm still, not sure what I'm going to do with that basket at this point, but like I shared, you'll see down the road what I do with that basket. I do work with foils as well, and that's a little hint on what we're going to do. Doesn't that look like a hot mess with all those different colors in there? But this is so much fun and so cool. Plus, doing it this way too, it shows you the process, and it shows that when you're making stuff, it's not going to start out beautiful. It's going to end how you want it, but the process is like life. It's a little messy. So I wanted to add more leaves to this, so we're going to build out those leaves. To me, when you have a floral arrangement, the leaves and the baby breath and all those little accents just really add to that arrangement. So for me, that's what I was going for here. So you're going to see a lot more greenery go into this. See how thin that paint goes on? But that's kind of cool when you're wanting to shadow and such. So you can work it to your advantage. There's a purpose for everything. So this is wrapping up a little bit more. So you'll notice here how it's just changed so much from that one to this share. What I did is I took white spray paint and I highlighted around it and toned down that basket. That's why I put on there it's mixed mediums. There's 3 different mediums on here, actually 4, because we're going to do the foils on the basket. We're going to do the gold and silver foils to make that basket look more like a basket, or more like a vase. So I'm using this smaller brush just to accentuate and bring out the petals in the flowers. You just put little highlights in there. Now here's another artist that you would probably enjoy watching if you like this particular type of art is Amanda Hilburn, the Little Bluebird Gallery. I pick up a real good vibe and inspiration from her when I'm doing my work, and I just love her honesty and simplicity of how to do things, and she's been doing this a lot longer. So if you want to check her out, you can do that as well. She is another one to give you some really cool painting techniques and something fun and funky as well. So we're just going to fill this all in here and continue on. So on here I'm just using the little highlights just to bring those flowers together. Full disclosure, I had never done these before. So this was really a fun project to do. And you'll see more of these in the future from me as well, just different styles and techniques. I really enjoyed doing this particular piece. It's all about the details. Many artists, and if you're like me, you see things in your head, you'll look at something and you'll be able to take it apart in your head and then transfer that onto canvas or whatever project you're working on. And for me, getting those lines and the highlights, translating that to canvas, this was fun. It was a fun piece to do. I appreciate you hanging out with me too. Thanks for hanging out. So now we're going to work on these leaves just to give them some dimension and to make them pop. So I'm adding highlights to them as well as darkening and shadows, dragging them out and having them hang over the actual the basket that they're sitting in. So you'll see that little darkening. You'll also notice on these shares that they're a little faster because I do speed them up just for you are able to catch the techniques and such, but we're not sitting here for hours. So you can slow this down a little bit if you want to see the brush strokes a little bit slower, or give me a comment down in the comment area if you do want me to slow them down a smidge. For me, this gives you a pretty full share, gives you the techniques and such in a timely manner. Remember too that you can always pause and rewind if you want to check out a technique. My niece actually thought I painted this fast. It's like, no, it's video magic. So just continue to add your colors, do those little accents towards the end just to bring everything together and make it pop. See, what I shared in the beginning, this is going to look totally different than how we started. So going into your masterpieces that you do, just it's the end product is what you're going for. So the process, just enjoy it and just have fun with it. So I'm putting little white dots in there to give that symbolism of, you know, some baby breath and stuff, and just to bring in that. The little white makes it pop a little bit more to me. So I just wanted to add some dimension, a little bit more in there, a little bit more pop. So I'm going to go through and add little tiny white dots with my little tool there that I get at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And that makes really great little dots. Down in my descriptions, you'll see an Amazon link that will take you to my personal profile to check out the type of brushes I use in the set that I have, that I use on here. It's under my painting list, and that is my personal profile. I created those lists for you could go in there and see the materials I use on these particular shares. It does have that little disclaimer in there saying that they might be affiliated links, but at this time when this was recorded, I don't have affiliated links. That's not my main thrust. My main thrust is being able to share with you. Affiliated links will come later. I just wanted you to be able to go in there and see the materials I use, and if you wanted, you could copy that information and order them yourself. I get nothing at this time, but I'm fine with that. That's not my goal. So here, what I just showed you was the glue that I'm using to put the foil on. And here's a little trick. You can use that glue, which works great, but Mod Podge works just as well. I made that discovery. Pretty cool. So we're just going to put that glue on, and then we are going to put our foils on it. I chose to do silver on this because I thought silver would be very pretty, and I just spot throughout the piece here some silver just to give it that, you know, cohesiveness of the silver being in there. And that's it. I mean, it's really fun piece to do. I'm not going to lie and say it's not that hard, because this one took a little bit of work, but it was fun. And you just take your time doing it. This was not done in one setting. This was done over a period of time. So now we're just going to seal it, which was scary for me because this is the first time I've ever sealed anything, because as I shared, I usually work with oils, and oils you don't have to seal. But I went in there and I sealed it. And then you'll notice too on the foils there, I actually added some gold foil to it to make that just pop a little bit more. And that's it. I sealed it, I let it dry, and it's framed now and hanging in my studio. But there you go, done. So I hope you enjoyed this little share, and I look forward to sharing more creative shares with you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Have a good day and a better tomorrow, as my daddy would say. And don't forget to subscribe and set your notify.